Hi, welcome back to Animation Teacher. Today we're going to talk about offsetting. Now, offset animation is essentially pushing a delay to happen, to settle shortly after the main action occurs. To do that, we're going to once again use the same animation that we did for the Franco rig here, just so we can keep things clear and so I don't have to do extra work. Okay, so let me just play this again. There's the animation. So what we'll do here is we're going to keep our main animation. I'm just going to collapse the folder here. And I'm going to delay the arm reach so that it settles also a bit later and it comes up a little bit later. So what I'll do is I'm going to find my arm on the timeline. So there it is. And the first thing I'll do is I'll actually push the frames forward here. So I'll hit Shift, just to delay it one frame. I'll shift one more, and I'll shift one more. So this is going to create a slight delay. Obviously, I'm going to have to change this a little bit, but you can already see that there's a slight delay that happens. The next thing I'm going to do is create some more drag. So to create drag, you're basically going to have to favor the starting position. So what I'm doing here is I'm just bringing it back. Now if you have your stop motion keyframe set, which is under the general tab, if you have this clicked on, it's basically going to kill your tweens every time you move it. Every time you move a key within it. So here's your tween, and if I move it, it's going to kill the tweens. So be sure you hit Control K right after so you get your tweens back. So I'm just creating a delay that favors the start position, and then I guess at this point I can raise his arms up, and to favor the end position I'm just gonna click and drag while holding Control to copy the frame prior. Okay, and the next step is we're going to do a drag on the forearm. And then lastly, the hand. I like to add a little bit of a drag or skew to add that. Here, I'm going to zoom in here so you can see this. So I call this pinning. I'm not sure what the real actual term is, but the idea is to pin the tips of your finger so that there's this bit of drag as it departs from that position. So here's the tip of the fingers, and all I did was I skewed the hand a little bit so it stretches. Now again, it's going to vary between the different shows that you work on. Some it's not going to look good with, and some it seemed to be designed for. Okay, so a little bit of delay. Oops, that has to be your overshoot and your settle. Okay, so let's have a look at this animation now with a little bit of delay and drag. Okay, I think I delayed it a little too much, so I'm gonna back it up just one. Just gonna back it up here, so okay, there we go. And we can do the same thing with the leg. Oops. Let's find his lower leg and his shoe. Oops, the shoe. Okay. So, I'm going to delay his leg and shoe action at the end here. So I'm going to add a frame on his left leg and his left shoe. And I'm just gonna push this over as well. Okay, I just want to see how this plays. Okay, and I'm just gonna add a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna undo that move. Looks like I should be holding this a little bit longer. Oops. So I'm actually going to key the next position here. I'm going to hold this back. Okay, and I'm going to create a little bit of a drag once again. Now, when you're dragging and skewing, you want to make sure that you're still maintaining the same volume for your objects. So it's okay to stretch it, but you want to make sure it still contains the same amount of volume. Okay. So I'm just stretching it here. Once again, because I have it set to stop motion keyframes, it's gonna break up my tweens, so I have to make sure I go in and add it. Okay. Okay, so there's a little bit of delay here. I'm noticing a little bit of a kickback, so I'm going to just go in and adjust that. Sometimes you'll find you just end up breaking your tweens entirely, just to make sure you get that arc going. Okay. So there's the delay. And lastly, if you want, we can try to delay this arm as well. So once again, I'm going to first off add a key, or add a extra tween here, and send the key coming in later. And I'm gonna create some drag. I'll start with my forearm. It's breaking off here because it's breaking my tweens again, but that's okay. Okay, so it's my forearm. I'm gonna just favor it that way. Okay, and my hands. Again, here I'll zoom in so you can see what I'm doing with the drag here. So watch the tip of the hands here. Just gonna stretch it and skew it so we get a nice little drag happening. And then, oops. So I'll probably delay this hand one frame as well. So just the hand, I'm going to shift plus. So the hand is going to delay even after the forearm. And I'm just going to key this and tween it. I'll go back one. And basically create a overlap or a delay in the overshoot and settle. Okay. It looks like the forearm breaks a little there. Okay. Okay. So here is the delay with the drag, and then the delay over shoot and settle on the hand. Okay. Now, whenever you drag keys, you want to just double check to make sure your eases are working as you'd like. I'm just going to increase this ease a little bit and we'll have a look. Okay, and the last thing we can delay is the head. So let's locate this and the neck. Okay, here. For a go head and neck, I'm going to push the head delay. Now, just a heads up, if you do have lip sync, I suggest you copy and paste the instances of the lip sync first before you start pushing the head around. And I'll cover lip syncing in another video. Okay, so to create the drag on the head, what you want to do is you want to keep the head down. You want to continue to bring the head down even when the head starts to go up, and then you can allow it to start moving up. You're going to have to once again create a double up key here, so I'm just gonna highlight all that, hold Alt, and basically duplicate this key and this key. What this will do is create your delay, your offset with the overshoot and settle positions. Okay, so it's gonna go up. So you're gonna have to change the eases of that. So it favors the lower position, and as it comes up, overshoots and settles. Okay, I'm just gonna exaggerate this a little bit so you can see the overshoot and settle. Okay, so obviously the head is popping a little much, so let me just adjust this a little bit. I think I see what's happening here. Okay, it's just this in this position. It's popping a little much, so I'm just gonna, fortunately, have to tone that overshoot and settle down. Okay. Alright. So, just gonna have him cushion into that last position. Okay, so there's your delay in your arms and the one leg. In the same action for the overlap and delay animation on Franco here. Okay, so I hope that was helpful, And for my Seneca kids, please do some different poses again this week. Um, and for everybody else, thanks for watching. See you next week. Thanks.